all of these people are in the conundrum that President Trump puts you in, where he wants asymmetric loyalty. He wants to be reckless and do things that are borderline criminal, if not over the edge of criminal. And he wants you to sit there and defend him religiously, like some of the nutcases that are still working for him. And so if you love the country and you love yourself, you have to speak out against this sort of stuff, and you have to explain to the American people how wrong his actions are. Now, he deserves his day in court on these allegations for sure, but I want people to think about the totality of everything. Governor Christie said on your network a few days ago, he can't be the unluckiest person in the world where he's involved with a sexual allegation case, a documents case, a premeditation on the J6 situation, and election interference in the state of Georgia. You know, it's not all somebody else's problem and not his problem. And I think ultimately the dam will break here, John, and the American people or the MAGA voters, hopefully they'll look for a different solution and not him.
You know, instead, except for Anthony's guy, Chris Christie, most of the Republican candidates aren't out there talking about this. And by this, I mean,
afraid of him.
Well, what would it take for them not to be afraid of him? Because it's just piling up.
I mean, there is the obvious point, which they're afraid of Donald Trump and the kind of media attention he can bring, the kind of way he can sink somebody's poll numbers with a drop of a statement or a nickname. But the real thing they're afraid of is the electorate that has not really rallied around Donald Trump and has really created a difficult space for candidates to be able to attack him, even on this very obvious thing. I mean, the question really is for Republican voters, do they see these as individual charges against Donald Trump? Or do they see these as a continuance of a federal government that has been weaponized against conservatives? The answer that they would give you to the kind of question that Anthony's posing here is not that Donald Trump is unlucky, but that the federal government itself is targeting Republicans and conservatives. That's the built-in answer for a lot of Republican electorate voters. And so for them, it is very easy. You know, I was just in Iowa this week. I was in Iowa the day the federal charges came down, talking to Republican voters, people who had been open to alternatives, people like Ron DeSantis and others. If you're in the camp of voting open for alternatives, I think that this has pushed you a little further to that. And there are some Republicans who very are. But if you're in the camp of folks who have supported Donald Trump, which remains a plurality in relationship to the other candidates, you're digging further in because you think this is just the biggest and deepest example of the federal government targeting Donald Trump.
And I said, Anthony, both of you weigh in here.
It's not, though. I mean,
okay. I know. I'm just doing the political fallout, but to your point.
But that's the entrenchment. You see, ultimately, those people, and again, I was with Mr. Trump, President Trump, on 71 campaign stops. Those people are disenfranchised. Those people feel left out of the system. We turned blue-collar people who were once economically aspirational, that's the home I grew up in, into economically desperational. So he's the